how did magic feel for you guys specifically, like fire energy, the traffic, the vibe, the flow? What were people? What were you hearing in the booth?
Oof, okay. Let's see what I can share. um, Magic felt very
Boutique hustle.
Welcome to Boutique Hustle Unzipped. I'm Sonia, and today we have our very first guest of 2026, Joel, and he is the head of sales for Peach Love. Joel, I know I kind of know you as a friend, but also as a vendor, but I thought I'd have you on because I thought it'd be cool to get a vendor's perspective on, kind of behind the scenes from a vendor's angle. So welcome.
hi, nice to meet you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Sonia.
Of course.
So good to have you, Joel. I'm Hannah. While Sonia is super hands-on with all of you lovely vendors over there in LA, I tend to mostly buy remotely from y'all through Sonia typically, or get to go to some of our local markets. One of my favorite markets to go to is Dallas. It's a quick hour flight for me. So that's typically where we like to go to markets. But lucky enough to have Sonia in our back pocket, hands on with all of y'all. I know y'all have amazing relationships with Sonia. So that's kind of where I come into play. But today we're going to talk with Joel about his experiences in this industry, his take on markets, and of course, some funny and real stories that we think our listeners will love today. So happy to have you and happy to meet you in person, one on one right here on our podcast.
Yes,
Have you
Hannah.
guys ever met?
I
We
feel
have.
like we have.
We
Yeah.
have. It
Okay.
was at a wedding. I think that's the first time we met.
No, that was the other
No,
sister, but yes.
that was the other sister. That was
Sorry.
Haley. Yeah, but
But
I feel like I've
easy to
seen you in
confuse.
the showrooms. Yeah. When we're in
Yes.
LA, I feel like I've met you there at some point.
All
But
right.
here we
So
are.
so Joel, since you're in the hot seat today, all our questions are going to be directed at you. However, feel free to ask us anything you need or want to know. Hopefully nothing, but we're here
Go
for it.
go easy on me, guys. Go easy on me.
So anyway, I know we're friends and we talk about a lot of things, but I guess we don't get too deep in like certain things I know and don't know about you. But I'm going to start with my first question. So be honest. At what point did you realize women's fashion wasn't just a family business, but was actually something you were going to do your whole life? Or is it something you're going to do your whole life? There's a secret.
There's no secret. I want to say I joined the company back in 2015, so it's been about 11 years for me.
Answer.
So, um, I joined the company back in 2015, so it's been about 11 years for me. How did I join this industry? So I actually graduated with an engineering degree, and I had no plans to go into the family business.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have an structural engineering with a focus on aerospace.
Wow.
What
Okay.
happened was I was looking for a job. I was helping out my family business at the time, and I actually got to really like it. I've met some great people just working, especially going to the shows. There's some people that really mentored me throughout the whole process, and I was able to really grow quickly because of them. And they've really shown me the ropes and shown me sort of honestly the fun part and like sort of the cool sales, like that kind of vibe. And I've been able to really grow under them at the same time. But that's sort of how I got into the industry and I've really grown to love it. I've met great people and we're now in year 11, just grinding it out.
How old were you when you started? 10?
I was, no. How old was I? I was 23 right after college. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, I did not know about the engineering part. So, wow. Okay.
I really do actually love that you're a family business. I think that's so interesting. I always kind of wondered how y'all would get into this space in on the vendor side. So that's so cool that you are a family business. That's how I actually got started. Coincidentally enough, I started at 23 as well. So that's so interesting, a little alignment there. being that it is such a female focused industry, but it's actually very male driven on the ownership side, what is it like being a young guy in that space and trying to build your own identity while doing it?
That's actually a very good question because to be honest, I'm still figuring it out. I don't know. I wouldn't say I know the answer to
Same,
that. I'm
same.
still figuring it out. But to
There's no
say
wrong
that
answer. Don't worry.
yeah. Um, I don't even know if I'm doing well right now, but with the industry being so female driven at the same time, and we're so focused on women and trying to figure out what they like, and there's just so many people. I mean, we work with a lot of women definitely in the company. My mom, my dad, they're all very involved. My mom obviously handles a lot of the design side, and I think that helps out a lot. Where I don't have to touch on that as much. But obviously, being head of sales at our company, I have to know what they like. I have to be able to sell it. I have to be able to show the appeal of a certain dress or a top. You sort of learn that as you go. I think it's just taste. I've always been interested in fashion. So it's very easy for me to know what looks good or what doesn't look good. Um, and
It's in your
especially
blood.
for us, huh?
It's in your blood.
It might be in my blood. Like I said, I don't know if I'm doing a good job, but I'm trying my best every day. So
Fake it till you make it.
That's
yeah,
it.
so fake it till you make it. Exactly. So Sonia taught me that very, very well. Yeah, I mean, especially for us too, being a Korean American, selling to a lot of people in Georgia and Texas and Florida, all over the place. You really have to think about how they view the clothes as well too. So it's very different in terms of I grew up in LA all my life, lived in San Diego for maybe about 3 years. But other than that, you really have to learn who your customer is. And aside from that, I mean, we're still figuring it out as we go. It's a lot of conversations like this with buyers and with different boutiques that you learn to know what their interests are, what's doing well for them, what's not doing well for them. So it's always very hard to teach that, especially at our company as well too, because everybody here's from LA. So it's very different to say like, hey, we're not appealing to an LA market, we're appealing to this type of market. And teaching them that is sort of one of the biggest hurdles that our company, I think, has gone through, but I think we do an okay job right now.
To touch on that point that he just made, what I think a lot of buyers don't understand is how difficult it can be to live somewhere like LA. We're just a melting pot of all kinds of people and ethnicities and styles and money, no money, all the things. And having to just design a brand, a line around probably most customers that don't live here. Like they're not, I would say what 95% of the people you sell to probably are outside of California, right? And
Exactly.
southern market and the East Coast and going up. So, it's probably, well, I'm sure it's difficult because you have to learn a market that you don't live in and you don't spend time in with on a daily basis. He can't sit on the sidewalk at the coffee shop and go, that's a good dress because, we're a jeans and t-shirt type of town.
Yeah.
So just putting that out there as a pat on the back for you guys because I know it's hard.
Thank you. So
So,
That
okay,
is so
moving
interesting
along.
too.
Go for it.
That is interesting too, because we are in the South and it is kind of intriguing to listen to your point of view on the designer and vendor side of things because we do know what we're searching for or looking for and we know our customers story. I mean, we know where they're going to church and where they're eating dinner at. And even where I sit as a buyer and as a boutique owner in the state of Louisiana, from Monroe all the way down to Homa, we're, have 3.5 hour distances from location to location. And those styles look different. So even when we're buying, like a Monroe customer dresses different than a Lafayette customer. So it is so valuable to understand who your consumer is so that you know what you're buying for them. But on y'all's end, it's even harder with you not really knowing what they're wearing to dinner or where they're going, what they're looking at. So how do you really make that distinguished effort to know what's on trend, what's happening, what's keeping everybody moving forward in the fashion, but it's really what's staying in that southern unique look because it is different than a North Coast or a West Coast look. The South does have its own niche in how they dress. How do y'all make those decisions on the design aspect of things?
I would say it's definitely a lot of buyer feedback, and I think that's where this becomes very helpful, especially for me as well too, because yeah, this doesn't happen without the feedback that I get from my buyers. Since I don't live in, like you said, in Louisiana or in Texas,
Right.
we get a lot of guidance, and the money talks too. So like, if we see a certain style selling, then okay, hey, this is hitting, this is doing well, and we grow on
Make
that
10 of
too. So
them.
we build on top of that as well. Yeah, make 10 of
Yep.
that in the long sleeve, in the short sleeve, and
In every
whatever,
color, in every
every
color.
color that we can do. Uh,
And now in the South, we see ourselves walking around in that dress, but in the rainbow colors.
exactly. So I mean, and as you mentioned right now too, your customer, but how do you bridge that gap between a buyer and a vendor in terms of, or the designer in terms of, hey, you know what you like, but the designer has to sort of imagine what you would like as well too. So these
Right.
conversations are very helpful, I would say, bringing that feedback over to our design team. And, we get a lot of inspiration from different places as well, too. But for the most part, the buyer feedback is definitely very helpful for us as well, too.
Yeah. Question.
And then, oh, go ahead.
So being that we are in fast fashion and y'all are doing design and building y'all's collections, how quickly is that turnover for you guys? Because I know for us, like sometimes we're like buying ahead, like pre-orders, but then like what we're seeing that people are coming in for, we sometimes miss the mark because we didn't quite know what the consumer was going to be looking for yet, and then you're like, oh, they want that barrel jean. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do y'all do that if you know that something's gonna hit? How quickly can you turn that over on the design phase?
So that's the fun part of this game that we play, which is
They're
like
hoping
we
you're
go
ahead.
to, yeah, we always hope we're ahead, but who, like polka dots, for example, right now, which is super trendy. We sort of saw it coming from last year, but imagine the vendor that didn't know that polka dots was going to be coming, and they attend, you know, the magic show with no polka dots in their
In their
in their booth.
collection.
Then
Wait, there was
Yeah.
somebody with no polka dots?
I'm looking for that vendor too right now, but imagine that happen, right? So it's like, how quickly can you get it to market? For us, I would say we're pretty quick on following trends. It would take about 2 to 3 weeks for us to get a design out to a sample, even faster if needed sometimes, because we have domestic capabilities. So we have a sample room in LA that we can quickly make things as well too. But
Mhm.
there's obviously limitations on what kind of samples will come out domestically compared to something made in China as well too. So I would say we're on the quicker side of things, but for some people, if they don't have that kind of relationship with their sample makers or with their factories in China or even in LA, it could take up to a month. You're basically missing that whole season then at that point.
Yeah, like those vendors that'll have polka dots next spring.
I highly doubtful, but I mean, yeah, that's why it's very important to constantly have these conversations and hear like, okay, hey, what's doing well? What do you think is gonna hit? My relationship with my buyers definitely helped that because they'll let me know earlier on, like, hey, I think cheetah is gonna hit for the next season, or hey, I see rainbows or I see graphic tees are gonna be very, very trendy. Those kind of information is something that our company is constantly looking for so that we can always be first to market with those kind of designs as well too. And there's a lot of risk taking involved as well too.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're making designs that, heck, who knows like if it'll even sell or not, but we need to keep on coming out with fresh new designs that, and a lot of times it's, you know, actually recurring designs as well too. Cause like, for example, polka dots hasn't been in for a while, but now, trends come back. Stripes are coming back right now too, very hard. I think animal prints are gonna come back a little bit sooner too. And yeah, it's just constantly getting that feedback from buyers to see what's gonna do well.
Right, and I
I love
think
that.
to kind of build on that answer, since I was a manufacturer as well, timing is like everything because just because it's trendy doesn't mean your customer base is ready for that trend. So you kind of have to time it to like as it's kind of happening and hitting all at the same time while people are kind of seeking it all at the same time. You can't be too ahead, you can't be too far behind because this is fast fashion. It's not like high-end fashion.
Yeah, that's what's so challenging. That's what seems to be like one of the most challenging things in this industry is how fast pace it is. And you have to be like always on it to stay in the forefront.
Yep.
To add on top of that, to just one more point is like for example, when we see something trending in LA or New York, sometimes it's not trending in the South as well too, and that's sort of the hard game that we play as well too.
Yeah.
Where do we look one
You
year
take the
back, or
chance.
like how far? I'm not saying that we're like the South is behind the trend, but it's just it's so different. So it's trying to figure that out, and it's very hard for like our designers to really understand that like when is the right time for you know um different trends that are trending in LA to hit the South. And I hear that often from buyers as well too, like, hey, we're not as trendy, or hey, we're not on that trend yet. So we gotta adjust to that as well too. And but especially with the sorry, but I will say with the growth of social media, I think um, the trends are moving a lot faster everywhere all over the U.S. because with the growth of people being able to see what's doing well or what people are wearing outside of where the town that they live in or in the state that they live in, um, we're seeing those trends spread a lot faster, in my opinion.
For sure. So, well, being that we just had the Magic show, the first of 2, how did Magic feel for you guys specifically, like, buyer energy, the traffic, the vibe, the flow? What were people what were you hearing in the booth? All of it. I hear all of it.
Oof, okay. Let's see what I can share. Magic felt very busy. I know they moved some people around, especially with the new hall. So it was a little chaotic, but overall it felt very busy. I mean, Magic is a great production overall. I know it takes a lot of people and money just to go behind it, just to even set that up. But yeah, overall the energy felt very good. It seems like people are, they're always looking for new right now. I know one of the most common feedback that I heard was you can only have so much polka dot in your store right now, right? So that's what people are afraid of right now. So that becomes our responsibility to figure out what is going to be next now. Because who knows when this trend is going to die out. Aside from that, I want to say I think Magic. I don't know. It just felt very busy overall.
And
It's
a good
awesome.
energy. I thought the energy was good, light. I was, like, hopeful because you go into these shows and going, like, you just don't know how the economy is doing, and you listen to TV and, like, you hear all these things, so, you wait to get to the show to, like, kinda get a feel, and it felt like, okay, once again, like Dallas, I thought I left there feeling like, "Okay, this is a good start to the year," and then I feel like sort of still going. Would you agree?
I mean, Dallas was very busy, Atlanta was busy, Vegas was busy. Those are some of the major shows that we attend, but we're getting a lot of positive feedback. I wanna say, it's very difficult to tell at the same time because it's usually we have to make sure, is it our designs or is it the market? And sometimes even if the market is trending up, if our designs are not good, then we can sort of conclude that, hey, the market's not good, but that's not always the case. So yeah, I mean, overall it just felt very good. It felt very busy. Felt like the buyers were excited for what's coming next.
Fresh. I love that. It's interesting. My buying looks a little different than Sonia's. We generally to keep our stuff filled buy remotely, but once again, love those local markets. Vegas is one of our favorite, but we had already hit up Dallas, so we didn't make it to Vegas this time. How handy is it to have someone like Sonia and have such a strong relationship with at these major markets? Like, from your side, how valuable is it to have a relationship with someone like Sonia who buys consistently and does feedback or gives opinion from the buyers directly with like what you're carrying? Does that have a lot of value to you? Do you prefer to talk to your buyers hands-on? For me, Sonia's part of it is always so valuable on our end. So I'm just kind of curious what that looks like from a vendor's standpoint.
Me
I
opinionated?
would. I think
No.
it's the most valuable asset that our company has. Not Sonia herself, but the relationships that we have with our
Although I
buyers.
do feel like I work there sometimes.
Sonia is but I think that is what separates us apart from everybody else is that we get that feedback and we have that, relationship with our buyers because that's sort of what separates us amongst, factories in China or that are trying to come to the US or even all the other vendors that I'm competing with is that I have these great relationships and I know what they want and they're telling me what they want so I can make it for them. I think it's super important for us to keep these kind of relationships open. Adding a personality to the brand, I think is very important. That's sort of what we're focusing on for this year as well too. So constantly going out, meeting people, having these kind of conversations as well too, I think is very important, especially with, the growth of AI and whatnot. Like it's very important to have human relationships, in my opinion. I
Hmm.
think that's what we're gonna be focusing on for the next 5 years, honestly, because the designs, there's only so much designs you can do. There's only so many different ways that you can make a top, a dress, but it's these relationships I think that are gonna really define who's gonna be surviving in the next 5 years.
I cannot agree more. That was so good.
That's yeah. I I tend to stop by and give my opinions from time to time, or I'm summoned to come give my opinions, but it's always fun.
Yeah.
So, did you ever feel the pressure to be a certain type of way or perform at a certain level because your dad is such a respected veteran in this industry? His dad's a OG in the industry, and I know those
Is
are big
hang on,
shoes
is he
to
the one
fill.
driving out of the garages at 4:45 PM in the swag cars, like the Bentleys, the
Well,
Mercedes? It's all
probably
it's
the
all
golf
whipping
course.
out. Oh, he's on the golf course, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's
Those are big shoes
every
to
company
fill, right?
every company is very different. I wanna say my parents are still very hands-on with the business. We are and I think we have a good synergy between our family because we are very invested in the business. Everybody really cares. Have I had to act a certain way? Not
Not
per
act
se, I wanna say.
necessarily, but, like, do
Yeah.
you feel the pressure to perform at a certain level or,
The
you know,
pressure is
the
definitely
pressure
there
is
because
real.
yeah, the pressure is definitely there, especially with I don't know if you guys know, but there's a lot of second gen sort of wholesale brands right now that is not as easy because and I go through this every day. I have to really reflect on it every day because sort of the story goes, the parents really started from the bottom. They had to be really gritty. They had to really figure things out as they go. But how does the second gen transition into the business? Because we didn't have that drive or the grit to really figure things out. And we're just trying to figure out how we can grow from
Take
what
it
they've
to the next
built.
level, yeah.
Yes. So that's constantly what I reflect on and trying to, you know, not fail is step number one, but come into the office every day with that same energy and really try to build on what they've done. Granted that they're still involved, very involved as well too, so it does help out. But at one point or one day, it's gonna have to come on to me, and I really want to be sure that I'm ready for it. Yeah, that's constantly what I'm striving for. Trying to making sure that I keep that same energy that they brought into the company to build it to what it is now. But obviously trying to grow on that because yeah, the market's changing. The way that we run the business is changing every year almost now at this point. So I just want to make sure we're able to keep up with that, but do better than that at the same time.
It's
Modernize
amazing
it.
how our our lives are so parallel, Joel. It's crazy. You're like talking, you're like speaking to me. I feel everything you're saying within my entire body.
Yeah. It's not easy. I know that there's a lot of businesses that have failed at the same time. So I'm always trying to make sure that, hey, how can I do better? How can I be better? And not resting on anybody's laurels. I think that's very important for me.
Well,
So true.
that's very well said. So, what's something you wish you would have known earlier about boutiques and buyers that you didn't quite understand before, or are you still learning? Kind of, and I'm referring more to like the inner workings. Like the more you talk to people, the more you go, like, we didn't think about that for you guys. Cause I know there's a lot of things that happen on Hannah's back end that I've had vendors that watch or listen to the podcast tell me, like, oh my God, we're learning so much about boutiques and kind of like the operations of it, like things we just don't even consider when we're doing ABC. So, what would be something that you feel you understand now that you maybe didn't before?
I would say I'm still learning. That's definitely,
Sure, we all are.
you know, we all are. Yeah. Uh, one thing that I've I want to say one thing I've learned up until now is that, as I mentioned earlier too, it's very important to have these relationships. It's not very easy to get into the industry, or what's the better way to say it? Okay. So one thing that I've learned is that it's very important to build your relationships earlier on, because that really adds to the value of the business, in my opinion. The fact that I've shipped out or I've worked with Herringstones or with whatever A and B boutique for so long, that really adds the history, I think, to your business as well too. The buyers really guide you, in my opinion, as a vendor. They really help out your business. So that's one of the first things I train all my salespeople to do is don't try to sell to them. Just be their friend. I think that is one of the most important lessons I've learned up until now, because that's how we can sustain our business, in my opinion. Designs come and go, in my opinion, but the relationships, they last.
Oh,
Yes. So true.
so, Hannah, is is there something you want to share with Joel from your end, from retail to vendor? Kind of, I guess I'm referring to things sort of like, hey, when you get a big shipment in, and your order's 10,000 and 7,000 of it comes in, and you know you're like, I
Yeah, and
can't
I
take
can't
all
put
of
all
that
my
right now
bags
because I have
I
five
can't put
other
all my eggs
vendors.
in one basket. Yeah.
Yeah, I also had 5 vendors that
Yeah.
did the same thing, or just any
Yeah,
of
sure.
things that like that that they don't quite get sometimes.
Yeah, I love that question. Me and Sonia actually have been kinda chatting about that on the past couple podcasts, because from where I sit, we have multi locations, which is very challenging. It's much easier to run one location and be able to kinda keep things moving quicker. But with the multi-location, some of my, pain points that I've had over the past several years, mainly since COVID, because pre-COVID, I was just thinking about this yesterday, actually. Everything was very smooth. Like, I just feel like everything was running in the right direction, and then we started opening locations, and then bam, COVID hit, and then pivot, 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 pivot. I was like, "We're not using the word pivot again. Can we come up with a different word?" And I feel like we're on the aftermath of, like, the COVID years, but I'm trying to, like, learn how to manage my time. I'm a mom, have kids now, also running multi locations. I'm the one who has to stay on top of shipments, but also I'm the one who has to keep us in budgets. I'm the one who's looking at the bottom line. So like I'm also the one who's wanting to open up more locations and think about growth and scaling. So like each little pattern has a reason behind it. But one thing I've worked on in the past couple years is really getting my operational expenses in a certain percentage, my inventory in a certain percentage, and keeping control over the buying, which has always been kind of challenging in the past whenever we have open credit cards and it was just like everybody would go to town. So I keep everything very tight so that I have control. And I also only do shipments twice a week because of my time. So whenever I have time to sit down, like prior to our podcast today, I was sitting down because everybody's ready to ship right now to close out their February. Well, like I'm getting all these emails and I'm like trying to keep up, but I also have multi locations. And I'm also at the end of my budgets for February. Like we're actually closed up for February, now prepping for March. And now I have all these vendors who are like, they just landed these big shipments. Well, I only have so much money I can spend for my next week per location. And I can't put all of my eggs in one basket, right? So I'm not going to only release a peach love all at once because I can't have just peach love coming into my store. It doesn't hit my departments, all my needs, all my things, right? However, I did get the email from y'all and it is on my priority list. And let me tell you why though. It's because it's a reasonable amount that I can build a collection with. It's not throwing me out $6,000 all at once from one vendor that I'm like trying to piecemeal together a collection. Like I like to kind of like go through, because I'm also doing these big campaigns and big launches where I'm having to style, have to make sure I have enough bottoms, enough tops, enough dresses, enough shoes, and jewelry popped in so that I can actually create a collection to present to my consumers, right? And that doesn't always hit every time, but y'all just sent me some lovely polka dots. And I was like, ooh, yes, these polka dots are going to squeeze in perfectly with what I know that I have in my head to present for my next collection, right? And so there's a lot of thinking and thought process behind it. And then sometimes I do get overwhelmed from all the emails and the vendors and their persistency of take it, take it, take it, or you're going to lose it, lose it, lose it. But my mind has shifted to, if I lose it, I'll lose it. It wasn't meant to be, because I have plenty more that I'm going to be able to get in, right? And so, but from where I sit, I am very cautious of making sure that each thing I need, I'm making smart decisions. And sometimes I might delay a couple days just so that my brain can actually make the decision that is best beneficial for the business, so that I can stay in the forefront and in control of my business. And that does hinder, conversations with my vendors. But I was actually just sitting down, typing up some emails to send to my vendors so that I can be in communication with them quicker. Cause I think a lot of times is like, it's in my head to like, all right, they're on my list. I have them written down, but I didn't actually communicate that with them. And I would love your feedback on this too, is like, don't you think that it would be best for me to say like, hey, I have you in my next 10-day window. You're at my top priority list. If you can give me 10 days to complete these orders, yada, yada, yada. Like, what does that look like from you? Because I'm actually sitting down this morning. I was like, you know what? I think I just need to do some mass emails to vendors so they know that, like, I promise you're on my list, but I'm closing out February and working on March. But to work on March, I have to build my own collections. And so I have to do this strategically. Like, what's your feedback on that?
So definitely communication is key. That's something that, the office, we constantly talk about too, in terms of, we don't mind holding merchandise for our customers as long as we have a specific schedule. It's the communication of like, it's the lack of communication sometimes that really ties us up, which is like, hey, we have this merchandise ready to ship, and we'll send an email, but there's no response. And it's like, do they want it or do they not want it? Like, if they
Yeah.
want it, like, just let us know. Hey, give me a timeline, and then we'll hold it for you. But there's like, oh, no, like it's crickets, or there's like, hey, there's just no response. Then
Right.
we just sort of become like, hey, like, what's going on here? And that's what really sort of holds us back as well too, in terms of like, because if the customer is not going to take it, then we have
You
to
just
give
want
it
to
to
know.
the next customer. Yeah, we have to either sell that or we have to figure it out. But we don't want inventory just sitting there without not having a plan for it. So I think that communication is just key at being able to be transparent on that. Then I think most vendors will be able to accommodate for that as well too.
And I think it's rude. Sorry, if I may say so myself. I think at the very least you acknowledge the email, and if you need time, you say, "Hey," like Tana said, "You're on my list,"
Hmm.
because you already took the time in that booth or wherever to sell that product, scan that product, all the small talk or whatever, and then to get ghosted once the product comes in, I think it's kind of rude.
Yeah.
And also, I'm sure you guys have that fear of cancellation, because do you give it away? Do you not give it away? Do you, you know, Sonia needs more packs. Do we take it from her and give it to,
More often than
take it
not,
to
yeah,
them?
Sonia always needs more packs. There's always Sonia.
You're like, there's always Sonia. We're good.
We're good. So,
I got
yeah,
you.
I mean, yeah, just communication is key, I think. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I know that boutique owners and buyers are very busy, so we do try to be very understanding of that.
Yeah.
But I think just having
When
an
the
open,
emails, like I literally, like, my goal today is to go all the way back through January 15th and see what I've missed, because it's like you lose things too through the emails where you don't even see. We had a vendor yesterday say, we've been sending you emails, but they were actually sending it to like another email thread that we don't even see. So it's like trying to figure it out. That's why I try to cross check like who we're buying from, so that I can
yeah,
go and search the email. If like I'm like, oh, I'm ready for Peach Love, let me search the email and see when the last time they were that they reached out. which, could have been 10 days ago. It's like
I'll be the first to say it too,
so
because
hard to keep up with.
buyers are human. Buyers are people too. They have their lives, and it's not like you guys are just looking at your emails all day long. Just like, hey,
Just
it's next.
waiting to see
Just
who's
waiting for
transported.
merchandise. An email saying, hey, merchandise is ready to ship. You guys have your own lives at the same time. So I do understand that 100%. We're very understanding, and we just want to make sure that there's just open communication. That's about it.
I love
And
that. Love that
can I
feedback.
throw this last piece of this little nugget of it? I guess it's not even information, it's just an opinion because, I'm not opinionated, but I'm having a really hard time with the automated or, yeah, auto-generated emails that stuff's ready. Like,
Huh?
it reads like there's no human behind it,
Yeah.
and so, like, you feel like you're part of just a mass email, and your brain tells you don't give it priority because you can sense that there's not a human behind it. Like, it's just like, stuff's ready, and it's like, "Poop, send out all these emails," right? And so I think that could also work against the vendor in some situations because it doesn't feel like you're needing to specifically get back to any particular person. It's just somebody said your stuff's ready, and you don't sometimes there's a name on it, a lot of times there's not, it's just the company name, so it's like, there's a disconnect for me.
Once again, I
See
think
that.
it's one of those concepts of relationships do matter.
Mhm.
If Peace Love sends an email to Sonia, Sonia knows, okay, hey, Joel's
I
expecting a
ignore it.
response. Joel's expecting a response, but then if it's from like a vendor that you don't really have a relationship with, I 100% get that. Those kind of emails human psychology will just sort of lean towards ignoring it more than responding to it.
For sure.
Sure. That does lead into with everything being so digital now, why does the in-person market still matter so much for brands and buyers from your perspective?
Ooh, that's a really good question because I'm a strong believer in that, you know, especially in this industry where there's so many clothes, so many different styles. I think being able to see it in person, touch it, seeing the quality of the styles is very important, especially now too, because we're competing on such a global level in a sense too. So as I mentioned earlier, obviously the relationships matter, but then I get very concerned for a lot of boutiques that only buy digitally because you don't know what kind of quality of items you're going to be getting. So being able to really see it, especially there can always be somebody cheaper than you, but that sometimes translates to the quality just won't be as good as well too. So especially in-person markets, I think definitely do help because you know that you're going to be getting quality items as well as being able to know who's behind the brand as well too. I think that's very important.
Right, and I think that's where the relationship matters. We've discussed this on the podcast several times. Even if you're just a small boutique that buys a single pack, I'm sure Joel can attest to this. If you have some kind of connection at some point at market and you call and they're sold out and they may have, I don't know, herring stones waiting to be answered to my email. They might wanna give that pack away.
Strong chance. Strong chance.
Not under my watch, I can tell you that won't happen, but you know what I mean? Like, don't underestimate yourself even if you're a small boutique, because someone's always wanting to help, and if they can give that to you, they will, and, that can only happen if you oh, I'm like, "Who walked past me?" That can only happen if there's a initial connection, right? Because if everything's behind a computer screen, there's really no connection. I don't really know this person. I see they buy regularly, but, you know, there's other people wanting stuff too, and I know them personally or whatever. So, showing up to market is a big deal as often as you can do it because like you said, it's not only the product and the quality, they need to know why you like what they're selling. What is it about it? So they know how to evolve that, that look or whatever it may be, what they're doing wrong or what's not working for you. They're compiling all this information and taking it over to their designer and hopefully translating it as best as they can so that they know how to move forward. It's kind of like walking blind sometimes if you don't have the people in person that you can talk to and, just get to know as you're selling to them. Would you agree?
I 100% agree. everything you just said right now.
Yay. So Hannah, I think I was going to ask you, I was going to ask Joel, but I'm going to ask you first. What's something really funny or crazy that has happened at market, whether it be with a vendor, a brand, something crazy? Because I'm going to ask you as well. Something memorable
Oh
that you were
gosh.
just like, holy
I
crap,
know
that
thi
was either embarrassing or crazy or like, if that never happens again.
I know things that happen aftermarket that are crazy.
I think we all have those.
At market, oh gosh, I don't know. I would have had to
I
pre-think
don't have an
this.
answer to this too, actually. This was a tough question.
You've never had a moment where like somebody walked out of the booth and you're like, holy crap, I handled that terribly, or something funny, something, I don't know.
I don't
Just
know if
funny
there's anything I
moments
want.
funny
I don't think there's
moments
anything
that
I
we
want
live
to
because
share.
they happen all the time.
Do you ever find like boutique owners who might like be competitors or something like in the booth at the same time?
All
And
the
they're like,
time.
we've
All the
experienced that.
time. It's very tough to. Oh man. So
How do you handle that?
uh, how do you handle that? So what happens is, for example, like one boutique will come in and they'll pick out a bunch of things, but then the store down the street will come in while she's shopping and
And
want to
eye
pick
the
from
rack.
her pull and eyeing the
Hmm.
rack. So
I've been on the other end of that before. I'll
yeah,
start going putting everything back really quick, like
yeah,
scrambling it all.
So you get a lot of crazy requests, like in terms
She
of
was
like,
like, I'll do
hey,
the go backs myself.
No, that's what I do. I'm like, I got the go backs. You don't have to worry about it. You can go help somebody else.
like yeah, they become very protective of what they picked, and
Uh,
usually we want to be able to like if one piece is on the rack, you want to be able to make sure you're selling that piece to everybody else in the booth. But if your competitor is in the booth at the same time, then you have to protect everybody's interest protect everybody's interest. Like, do they really like the item, or are they just choosing it because this store bought it, so it's very hard to manage that at the same time. But
You
yeah,
just have
what
to
do we
start
do?
picking up the stuff you don't like and just put it 5 packs
I've
of
done that
everything.
before.
And then cancel it right after the show.
Like, we're just joking. We're joking. They're gone now.
Hey, we just got like $1 million order from Eric Stones. But everything's gonna be canceled
And
after
it's
the show.
weird. It was all the stuff that's not moving as
It doesn't even
fast.
look like them. It doesn't even look like them. Oh gosh.
So yeah, I mean
So
that's
funny.
very tough to do. And I oftentimes, I try not to, be so involved in their business at the same time. So we have to be very careful.
Oh, but it's so juicy sometimes and you know it.
I'm not mentioning any names too. So, but
No,
yeah,
we're
that
not.
happens. That happens more
No.
often than I would like.
I can only imagine. I can only
Yeah.
At the
imagine.
market when we're having drinks, they're like,
Uh-huh.
so and so was in our booth when so and so was in our booth, and holy crap.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
good.
yeah, I try not to care about that as much because, we want to cater to everybody and we want to be
Sure.
fair to everybody at the same time. So, but yeah, I mean, I think everybody's just trying their best to buy for their own store. So I give everybody that, what would you say? I give everybody that
Equal opportunity
equal opportunity, that they're not trying to compete. They're not trying
to pick.
they're
Doesn't
not
mean
trying
they're
to
going to
pick
get
from their
shifted.
competitors. I think they really like the items themselves. So that's why they're buying the pieces. But yeah, I mean, it's not,
That's so funny.
there's no easy way to do this because I can't tell the customer, be like, hey, can you come back in 10 minutes after this person's done buying? You don't want to do that at the same time.
Right.
So,
Or like first come, first serve.
and yeah, it's never easy. And sometimes you see one of those bigger brands or bigger boutiques come in and everybody's suddenly interested in what she's picking out, so
Right.
we have to be
Yes.
very careful about that. Or, sometimes we'll open the show up for like after hours or before the show opens, and
Just so
maybe
they can get
that's
a head start.
exactly.
Yeah.
And we're very accommodating to that as well too. But yeah, there's never an easy way to handle that
I
situation.
swear I've been followed before. Like, I'll turn around, I
For
was
sure
like,
you
wait.
have.
Like, I'm like, okay, this is getting weird. How are you at every booth? every time I'm in it.
We feel like that sometimes too. There's like, and there's some that aren't even like in our like like in our area, but like a little further out, you know. And I'm like, I feel like she's in every single booth we're in right now. Like, is this on purpose or is this coincidentally? Because it's not like we have a list. Like we're just wandering through, you know.
Hmm.
But the
It's
vendors
very
are the one
planned.
that actually it affects the vendor the most because it's like, hey, like the buyers aren't buying all of a sudden. It's like, wait, why aren't you picking things out? But it's because there's a competitor
They're
in the
waiting.
group. Yeah, you guys are
They're
waiting.
waiting.
I'm just like, or like, hey, we'll come back. You know, I was like, wait,
And
why?
you're like, no, 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 don't leave, don't leave.
Dang.
Yeah, it's
We
like,
can
what's
make it
what's
work.
wrong with my clothes? You know, you don't know
Yeah.
that, but obviously
And sometimes
there's
they don't know that it's
there's
because
a
of
lot
that
of
reason.
external
So they're
factors
like,
that go into it. Yeah,
because usually oh, we'll be back. Don't come back.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you get sidetracked. It's so funny. That's
So kind of
that's some real life market shit
That
right there.
happens.
couldn't have said it better myself. Um, so lastly, if you weren't in fashion, what do you think you'd be doing? Working at SpaceX or something?
Oh, no, I
SpaceX.
wouldn't be working. I actually wouldn't be pursuing engineering. I think I would be pursuing something that still involves a lot of people or a lot of relationships. That's sort of the
He's a networker, this one.
I really enjoy talking with people, which is actually very different than my personality when I was like in school because I thought I was a complete introvert. I thought, I would just do my own work, clock in, clock out, be on the desk and go home. This being in this sort of position really brought out a side of me that I didn't know I had, which is really meeting people, going out, networking, as Sonia said. um, I I really enjoy meeting people, and I think that's why I can't say I do a great job, but I do an okay job in my
No,
current
I think
position
you're pretty genuine about that. He's genuinely, you could tell he's interested in people for whatever reasons they
for
are. Like,
whatever reasons. Yes, but
no,
I really
yeah.
do enjoy learning about everybody, about the different industries that people are in, about, how they got started. And I mean, I think I would do something with people, maybe real estate. I think I can do a great job. I don't know what
He
I
likes
would
to
do.
meet with a lot of people, spend a lot of time at music festivals.
Maybe that's something I'm definitely not an artist or something technical, but I think I'm okay with people.
Thank God, because you're in an industry where you have to be.
True. So, yeah, I mean,
And
I still
so
enjoy going to trade shows. I still enjoy going out to meetings. I still, I don't mind doing the dinners. I don't mind, some people get very tired from that. Like after the show, they'll want to be in their hotel room and just not really do anything or order Uber Eats and stay in the room. But I enjoy going out, meeting people, getting to really learn about them, about their business. That's one of the few joys I have in my life.
and if you're lucky enough to know Joel, you'll eat some of the best meals you've ever had
Uh,
with
that's
Joel.
good. I really
Ooh,
do enjoy food as well too. So
sign
that
me up.
yeah, we've
He's
had a
always
lot of
looking
great
for
din
fun
we've
new
had a lot of great
places.
dinners.
Yeah. So, lastly, we talked a lot about your line and all that stuff, but we didn't really get into what is your line. Tell the audience, what you're known for. Or
Yes.
do you have a stronger season versus the other, or what are you guys strong for?
So here's usually how my sales pitch goes, which is, um, welcome to Peach Love. We are a wholesale brand based in LA. We specialize in prints, also trends as well too. So we don't specialize just in one category, but in every category for the most part. We design a lot of our prints in-house, so our prints are exclusive to us. We copyright all of our prints as well too. So I think I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud that we are creators and not just imitators for the most part.
Mic drop.
Uh, we Yeah, we've been in business for how long has it been now? For 16 years. We cater to a lot of people, whether it comes with, dresses, tops, pants, outerwear, almost every category we sell to. So, and yeah, I mean, as I said earlier too, we sell to a lot of people in the South, but I don't want to be limited to just that. I think we are very trendy overall. And yeah, please come check out our line.
And that would be
Peach Love.
a peach lip. Okay, there you go. What would you say are your 3 best-selling items so far this year?
Oof, our
Is
3
those polka dot
best-selling
barrels?
polka dot barrels are just killing it right now. I mean, I'm almost becoming a pants store right now because of how much pants we're moving right now. We've come out with a lot of great pieces. I mean, we have a lot of novelty pieces. So right now, we're doing very well with our Americana pieces. We have our
Do you need
pants.
anything for 4th of July or Memorial Day? He's your guy.
Yes. And yeah, was it that we do a lot of that. And then printed dresses are doing very well for us right now too. So we do, like I said, we have our own prints. So we sell a lot of that and printed pants as well too. So polka dot barrel pants is doing very well. We have these floral barrel pants. The straight legs are doing very well too. Um, yeah, it's all over the place for us. So I would say those are some of the 3 categories that we're doing very well with right now.
Awesome. Well, Hannah, anything you wanna add?
I just loved meeting you today and hearing your story. And I have goosies because I just feel like everything that comes out of your mouth is so parallel with my story, but we're on the opposite ends of the industry. So it was really fun having you on the show today. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me,
Yes.
guys. It's a pleasure. And yeah, I mean, this is all
You'll do it
relationship
again?
builders too. I would love to do this again. Anytime.
Next time we're like they do, Watch What Happens Live, we're gonna do tequila shots every time a certain word's said, and it's probably gonna be relationships, so we'll be real drunk.
You said we should have certain words for each of us, and then we could do.
I said the
I don't
word
mind doing a
relationship.
podcast like
Yes, yes, yes. We have to do that. That'll really spice things up for us, and then we'll be feeling good afterwards.
My god.
I'm
That'll
always down for a
definitely
shot of
get some
tequila.
viewers.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
We
thank you
can
guys
do
for
it for,
having
like,
me.
the
I
last 10
appreciate it.
minutes of the show,
Yeah,
so we don't
Hey,
get
just
too
seriously.
wasted,
we
being that it's
yeah, we can just
11
get a
o'clock in the
nice bottle of
morning.
tequila. I might just be taking shots even when the word's not being said too. So we'll see.
Joelle knows how much I hate tequila.
Yeah, she hates tequila. She doesn't have a bottle of tequila at home. Not one bottle.
We all
Oh
know
my
that's not
god.
even true.
It's my
I
favorite.
think Sonia has the most diverse tequila collection I've ever seen from all over the world too.
No doubt.
Pride
Yeah.
myself, and I'm not greedy with it, I share it.
She shares it a lot. She shares it definitely. She
Uh.
shared a lot with me over the past year.
Yes. Well, thank you again. This has been fun. Can't wait to have you again. And, yeah, I'll see you on the flip side.
Yeah. Nice to meet
So
you again,
good.
Hannah. Bye, guys.
So nice to meet you. And thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in today. We hope you got some fun behind the scenes stories, some laughs, and maybe a few lessons to bring back to your boutiques, or even maybe you want to go have a little tequila because now I'm kind of craving some with all this tequila talk. But if you don't follow us, please go do so. It's the at Boutique Hustle Unzipped. And for show updates and more industry tips, we are your go-to podcast for all things from wholesale to retail and everything in between. You'll have a great day. And thank you, Joelle, for joining us today. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.